We often think of the Greek gods as perfect, majestic rulers watching over humanity from the glorious heights of Mount Olympus. But the truth is far more complicated and a lot more human. Forget the serene marble statues. The gods of Olympus were a family driven by power, jealousy, and chaos, and their divine drama could make any reality show look tame. Let's start at the top with Zeus, the king of the gods. He ruled the heavens with a thunderbolt in his hand and an iron fist. He was the great lawgiver, the ultimate judge, yet he was also the ultimate hypocrite. While he demanded order and justice from mortals and gods alike, he broke his own rules constantly. His reign was defined not just by thunder, but by his endless, scandalous affairs. He pursued mortal women, nymphs, and even goddesses, often using deception and force to get what he wanted. His actions weren't just personal failings, they were seismic events that sent shockwaves through the heavens and the earth, proving that absolute power doesn't just corrupt, it reveals. And where was his wife, Hera, in all of this? As the queen of Olympus and the goddess of marriage, you might expect her to stand for loyalty and family, and she did, in her own twisted way. But her rage was never directed at Zeus, the actual source of her pain. She couldn't or wouldn't challenge his power. Instead, she channeled all her fury and divine wrath onto his lovers and their innocent children. She was relentless, a master of vengeance, from tricking Somali into being burned to a crisp by Zeus's true form, to sending snakes to strangle the infant Heracles in his crib. Hera's revenge was a creative and horrifying art form. She became a terrifying symbol of a woman scorned, whose heartbreak was so immense it could only be expressed through destruction. But the family drama doesn't stop there. Take Zeus's children. Athena, born fully formed from his head, was the goddess of wisdom, strategy, and civilization. She was the brilliant tactician, the patron of heroes, the voice of reason. You'd think she'd be the one to bring order, right? But she had a fierce rival in her own half-brother, Ares, the god of war. Where Athena represented strategic, honorable combat, Ares was the embodiment of pure, unadulterated violence. He reveled in the bloodshed, the chaos, and the brutality of battle. He didn't care about victory or glory. He just loved the fight. The two of them were constantly at odds, their rivalry playing out on the battlefields of mortal men, a divine clash between intellect and brute force. Then there was Poseidon, Zeus's brother and the ruler of the seas. With his trident, he could summon storms, create islands, and shake the very foundations of the earth. The oceans were his kingdom, and he demanded respect. If you crossed him, the consequences were catastrophic. His temper was as volatile as the sea itself. Disrespect Poseidon, and your ships would be splintered, your cities drowned by tsunamis, your islands shattered by earthquakes. His rage wasn't just an emotion, it was a natural disaster, a terrifying reminder that some forces of nature are beyond our control and demand our reverence. And let's not forget the twins, Apollo and Artemis. Apollo was the god of light, music, poetry, and prophecy. He brought beauty and knowledge to the world, but he also brought plague. His arrows could deliver a swift, agonizing death to entire cities. He was a god of dazzling brilliance and terrifying darkness, all at once. His twin sister, Artemis, was the goddess of the hunt and the protector of the wild. She roamed the forests with her band of huntresses, a fierce and independent spirit, but cross her, harm one of her sacred animals, or violate her domain, and her punishment would be swift and brutal. She was a guardian, but her protection came with a deadly price. Finally, we journey to the underworld, ruled by the third brother, Hades. He's often misunderstood as an evil figure, a kind of Greek devil, but that's not quite right. Hades wasn't evil, he was just inevitable. He ruled the realm of the dead, a gloomy but necessary job. He was a stern, unyielding king, but he was also one of the most stable and faithful of the gods. His kingdom wasn't a place of punishment for all, but simply the final destination. His role reminds us that death isn't a malevolent force, just a fundamental part of the cycle of life. So, when you look at the Olympian gods, don't see them as symbols of unattainable perfection. See them for what they truly were. Powerful, flawed beings who mirrored the very best and the absolute worst of humanity. They were reflections of our own ambition, our love, our jealousy, our rage, and our desire for power. The stories of Olympus aren't just ancient myths. They are timeless tales about the messy, complicated, and often terrifying nature of power itself. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into the darker side of mythology, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. See you next time!